So what is some guidance that can be given to introduce, attract, and retain more Indigenous people to our industry?
Sorry, I'm really chatty. I can talk all day. I'm just trying to be cognizant of time to talk about this topic all day. So when you're looking at Indigenous talents or First Peoples, I think it's first important to realize that it's not a monolith. There's a lot of diversity within First Peoples. First Nations, non-status, Métis, Inuit, and there's a lot of intersectionality. So I'm intersectional. In Indigenous culture, Two-Spirit is something that is very revered, so there's intersectionality there between the 2S LGBTQI plus community and Indigenous people. So realizing that coming at this with humility and that I don't represent like all Indigenous people or all Black people, right? So understanding that there's diversity there.
That in itself is crucial. So that if we understand that framework right now, that there are no more barriers, you don't have to be bigger, stronger, smaller, whatever. It's irrelevant because we've got robots, we've got AI coming. We had a reference to that earlier. But what can we all do in here? And I wrote down 3 words that I think are really crucial in terms of how you approach things. First of all, everybody in here, you have the ability to move a magic wand. You all have your own Superman, super person, superpower. And that is you can make somebody credible. So when we think about somebody coming into an organization, each of you will set the tone for that person's pathway into the company on day one. If you welcome them, you introduce them, you make them legitimate. They're now part of that tribe. So the credibility is so important because there are people out there going, yeah, the gals, or them, or they. Forget all that nonsense. You can make the change by making people credible.
And really celebrate some of the differences and highlight them. Our particular executive committee, which has several different languages spoke in several different countries of origin, things like that, facts like that aren't necessarily known with the rest of our population, but promoting that and saying, there's opportunity out there for everybody, right? We very much celebrate our diversity and equity, and I would say that that's a relatively new concept in our organization to promote and celebrate it. Giving more opportunity, one of the key things, and you brought it up, which is so key, and I'm working on this with actually Andrew Body as well, the hiring practices are such a crucial part of getting really good candidates into good roles.
When we discuss the role of the amplifier, so that's, helping voices, ideas being heard, what are some of the challenges that you face? How do you deal with rejection and difficulty to address such matters? Nicole?
Sure, that's a great question, and thank you all for having me. I'm so honored to be a part of this panel. So challenges, I've definitely had a few in my career. Started back in a time when, like I mentioned in my bio, there was no women that were drivers around at all. I would walk into a yard filled with men. I was in my mid-20s at that time. It was 1995. So a long time ago, and I really did feel like, oh, I'm just, this little woman, nobody talked to me, and I was always like trying to hide and fly under the radar and do my thing in the background, and really quickly realized that underestimated all over the place, all of the time. And when I say that I had to be twice as good to be considered as equal, that's reality, and I can see some nodding heads, and that's really how it was back then, and I don't think it's too much different today, unfortunately. I know we've come a long way, but we still have a long ways to go, as I'm sure a lot of you know.